I discovered my best friend was actually a serial killer. I, 28, always thought I knew everything there was to know about my best friend, Sarah, 28. We had been inseparable since we met in kindergarten, and we shared everything with each other. From our deepest fears to our wildest dreams, Sarah was always there for me, and I thought I was always there for her. We lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone else's business. Our families had known each other for generations, and we were practically raised as siblings. Sarah and I both had our fair share of struggles growing up, but we always had each other to lean on. One day, everything changed. It was a crisp autumn afternoon when the police showed up at my doorstep asking to speak with Sarah. They wouldn't tell me why, only that it was a matter of urgency. I watched in shock as they led Sarah away in handcuffs, her eyes filled with fear and confusion. I couldn't believe it. My best friend, the person I trusted with my life, was being accused of something unthinkable. I followed her to the police station, demanding answers from the officers, but they remained tight-lipped. It wasn't until Sarah was placed in a holding cell that she finally broke down and confessed. She told me that she had been living a double life as a serial killer. For years, she had been targeting and murdering innocent people in our town, leaving no trace behind. She described the thrill she felt with each kill, the rush of power that came with taking someone's life. I listened in horror as she recounted her crimes, unable to comprehend how the person I knew could be capable of such evil. I was torn between disbelief and disgust. How could I have been so blind to Sarah's true nature? How could someone I loved and trusted turn out to be a monster? The thought of all the times we had laughed and cried together now made me sick to my stomach. As the reality of Sarah's actions sank in, a wave of conflicting emotions washed over me. I was angry at her for betraying my trust, for deceiving me all these years. I was scared of what she was capable of the darkness that lurked beneath her cheerful exterior. But most of all, I was devastated by the loss of my best friend, the person I thought I knew better than anyone else. The first conflict arose when Sarah's trial began. The whole town was abuzz with rumors and speculation about her case. Some people believed she was innocent, that there must have been a mistake. Others saw her as a cold-blooded killer who deserved the harshest punishment. I found myself torn between loyalty to Sarah and the need for justice. I wanted to believe that she was still the person I knew, that there was some explanation for her crimes. But as the evidence piled up against her, my doubts grew stronger. How could I defend someone who had caused so much pain and suffering? Update: the prosecution presented damning evidence linking Sarah to multiple murders. The forensic evidence was irrefutable, and eyewitnesses came forward to testify against her. I felt the weight of guilt crushing me, knowing that I had been blind to the truth all along. As the trial dragged on, tensions rose between Sarah's supporters and her detractors. Some of our friends turned against me, accusing me of being complicit in her crimes. I was ostracized by the community, shunned by people who had once been like family to me. I tried to reach out to Sarah to understand why she had done what she did, but she remained distant, caught up in her own web of lies and deceit. The person I thought I knew was gone, replaced by a shell of a woman consumed by her own darkness. Escalation and fallout came swiftly after the verdict was announced. Sarah was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The town breathed a collective sigh of relief, glad to be rid of the menace that had haunted us for so long. But for me, the fallout was far from over. I struggled to come to terms with the betrayal of someone I had loved like a sister. I questioned everything I thought I knew about friendship and trust, wondering if anyone could truly be trusted. Update: Sarah reached out to me from prison, pleading for my forgiveness. She claimed that her actions were driven by a deep-seated trauma that she had never revealed to anyone. She begged me to believe that she was still the person I knew, that she was capable of change and redemption. I was torn once again. Part of me wanted to believe Sarah's words, to forgive her for the sake of our shared history. But another part of me recoiled in horror at the thought of standing by someone who had committed such heinous crimes. As I grappled with my conflicting emotions, a new revelation came to light. The police uncovered evidence that linked Sarah to even more unsolved murders in other towns. The sheer scale of her crimes was staggering, sending shockwaves through the community and leaving me reeling with disgust. Now, as I stand on the brink of losing my best friend forever, I am left with a haunting question. Am I the asshole for not seeing the darkness in Sarah sooner? Was I complicit in her crimes by turning a blind eye to the signs of her true nature? Or was I simply a victim of her deception, a pawn in a game of death and destruction? Only time will tell as I struggle to come to terms with the shattered remnants of a friendship that once defined my very existence. And as I wait for answers that may never come, I can only hope that one day, the wounds left by Sarah's betrayal will heal, and I will find peace in knowing that the person I thought was my best friend was never real. In the days following Sarah's conviction, I found myself consumed by anger and sadness. The person I had confided in, the person who had been by my side through thick and thin, was revealed to be a monster capable of unspeakable acts. The memories of our shared laughter and tears now tainted by the dark truth of her crimes. I tried to make sense of it all, to understand how someone I had known for so long could have kept such a horrifying secret. The weight of guilt gnawed at me as I questioned whether I could have done something to prevent the tragedy that befell the innocent victims at Sarah's hands. As I distanced myself from the remnants of our shattered friendship, I could feel the rift widening between us. The once unbreakable bond we shared now severed by the reality of who she truly was. Sarah's attempts to reach out to me from prison fell on deaf ears, my heart hardened by the betrayal that cut deep into my soul. As the days turned into months, I found myself haunted by the ghosts of Sarah's past. The images of her victims lingered in my mind, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath her facade. I struggled to reconcile the person I thought she was with the monster she had become, the friend turned foe in the blink of an eye. Update: the news of Sarah's additional crimes in other towns sent shockwaves through the community, further solidifying her reputation as a ruthless serial killer. The sense of betrayal and disgust grew as we learned the full extent of her depravity, leaving me grappling with the harsh reality of her actions. I began to question everything I thought I knew about friendship and trust. How could I have been so blind to the signs that were there all along? The guilt of not seeing the darkness in Sarah sooner weighed heavily on my conscience, a constant reminder of the pain and suffering she had caused. With each passing day, the wounds left by Sarah's betrayal seemed to deepen. The once vibrant memories of our friendship now tainted by the knowledge of her crimes. The sense of loss and betrayal lingered like a dark cloud over my head, casting a shadow on every aspect of my life. As I stand at the crossroads of forgiveness and condemnation, I am filled with conflicting emotions. Part of me longs to believe that Sarah is capable of change, that redemption is possible even for someone as twisted as she. But another part of me recoils at the thought of letting her back into my life, of risking the safety of myself and those around me. In the end, as much as I want to find closure and peace in the wake of Sarah's betrayal, the scars of her crimes run too deep. The person I once called my best friend is now a distant memory, a specter of the past that haunts me in the quiet moments of reflection. And as I come to terms with the shattered remnants of our friendship, I am left with a bitter taste in my mouth, a lingering sense of hatred and resentment that may never truly fade. Was this person in the wrong? Comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe.